Let's get some analysis now from Marsin Alshamary. She's a research fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School, joins us now live. Good to have you with us. So can I ask, first of all, what you make of Muqtada al-Sadr's announcement that he's retiring from politics? What is he aiming to achieve with that, and what's going to be the impact?
Well, this statement to retire from politics was a result of a letter that Al-haeri, who is Muqtada's father's student and the spiritual guide for many older generation Sadrs and Muqtada himself, issued, both criticizing Muqtada for what he has done and himself stepping away from his role as a religious leader. So this was the immediate impetus that got Muqtada to send that statement, and he tweeted it where he resigned from politics. I think the other one at the time was he wanted to distance himself from any violence and not be held responsible for it if it did occur and if it was instigated by his followers.
None of that helps the stability of Iraq, of course. There are now increasing calls for early elections. The president has said that early elections might be a solution. Do you think that's the case? Could that help solve the current crisis, or will it not make a difference because the whole political system might produce the same result?
I mean, you're exactly right. The issue here is that there is nothing fundamental system that might give us hope that there will be different results going forward. And in fact, Sadr himself had done extraordinarily well in the elections, and nevertheless, he stepped away from parliament and had his MPs resign. I do think that the best way going forward is definitely a government formation of some sort, whether it is with whatever MPs we have currently or whether it is through a new election. I think it's important that it is done without antagonizing Sadr, but I am under no illusion that this is a long-term solution, or that the very same grievances that compelled this crisis to develop will not happen again. And perhaps next time they won't be resolved as quickly.
And this is an incredibly volatile time for Iraq. They've been without a government for so long. They've got incredible social problems in the country with the economy, with food and fuel shortages. How dangerous do you think it is at the moment in terms of these clashes and in terms of the political deadlock for the stability of Iraq?
Iraq is genuinely hanging by a thread in so many ways. As you said, economically, it has a lot of money from oil, specifically because of the increase in oil prices, because of the war on Ukraine. But that being said, this is not a long-term solution. Everyone knows that over-reliance on oil, specifically in this environment where people are turning away from relying on oil, is going to be a failing long-term strategy economically. We have a high unemployment rate, we have a high poverty rate, we have an environmental crisis that is unfolding in the form of excruciating temperatures, of sandstorms. It's becoming increasingly difficult to live in Iraq. And the environment and the pressures on everyday citizens are going to boil over in one way or another in the future. Nothing has been resolved right now, except that there is no civil war at the moment.
So briefly, I mean, I guess this is like looking into a crystal ball, but where is this going to go? Is there a solution to this political crisis?
The solution to most political crises is having leadership that is invested in the long-term well-being of the country rather than the short-term well-being of their own party. And that's what Iraq has been lacking. Many of the political parties that have led Iraq are not invested in the country's long-term development and are led by these fears of existential crises, if not outwards or outright corruption and the desire to enrich themselves and the lack of faith in the country's longevity. And I think that really drives the bad policies of many actors. The actors in Iraq who do have a forward-looking mentality and are willing to plan economic and political reforms are frequently silenced or sidelined by their rivals.
Great to get your analysis there. Thank you very much indeed. That's Marsin Alshamary there.